Why we should not use. Why we should not use AI to authenticate religious texts. Introduction. Imagine asking an AI, is this verse authentic? Did this prophet really say these words? Which religious interpretation is correct? Within seconds, AI gives you an answer that sounds confident, detailed, and convincing. But here's the important question. Should we trust artificial intelligence to determine the authenticity of religious texts? The answer is no. AI is an incredibly powerful tool. It can translate languages, summarize books, search through thousands of documents, and even help students understand difficult concepts. However, when it comes to deciding whether a religious text is authentic, genuine, or divinely authoritative, AI reaches the limits of what technology can do. In this video, we'll explore why religious authentication requires human scholarship, historical evidence, and spiritual responsibility, things that AI simply cannot replace. 1. AI does not understand faith. The first reason is simple. AI does not believe. It has no faith, conscience, spirituality, or relationship with God. It predicts words based on patterns found in enormous amounts of data. When you ask AI a religious question, it doesn't pray, reflect, or exercise wisdom. It calculates probabilities. A religious scholar may spend decades studying sacred texts, learning original languages, understanding historical context, and consulting generations of scholarship. AI does none of these things in the human sense. It processes information. That is a huge difference. 2. Authenticity is more than matching words. Many people think authentication simply means checking whether words match an old manuscript. In reality, it is much more complex. For many religious traditions, authenticity involves questions such as, who transmitted this text? Can the chain of transmission be verified? What was the historical context? How have recognized scholars understood it? Does it agree with established teachings? These questions require careful evaluation of evidence, historical methods, and accepted scholarly principles. AI can help organize information, but it cannot independently determine what a faith community should recognize as authentic. 3. AI can make confident mistakes. One of AI's biggest weaknesses is that it sometimes produces answers that sound completely convincing, even when they are wrong. It may combine information from different sources. It may confuse similar quotations. It may invent references that never existed. Because AI writes fluently, many users assume it is always correct. But confidence is not the same as accuracy. If AI makes a mistake while recommending a movie, the consequences are usually minor. If it incorrectly authenticates a religious text, it could mislead people about matters they consider sacred. That is a much greater responsibility. 4. Religious texts require human scholarship. Throughout history, religious communities have developed careful methods to preserve and study their sacred texts. Experts dedicate years, sometimes their entire lives, to studying ancient languages, manuscripts, historical records, and traditional methods of interpretation. These scholars don't work alone. Their conclusions are examined, debated, challenged, and refined by other qualified scholars. This process provides accountability. AI cannot participate in this scholarly tradition. It cannot assume responsibility for its conclusions. It cannot defend its reasoning in the same way a human expert can. 5. AI learns from human data. Many people think AI has unlimited knowledge. Actually, AI only learns from information created by humans. If the data contains mistakes, conflicting opinions, or biased interpretations, AI may reproduce those problems. It doesn't know which interpretation is spiritually correct. It doesn't receive divine guidance. It cannot distinguish between genuine revelation and inaccurate information on its own. Its answers depend entirely on the quality of the data it has learned from. 6. Technology should assist, not replace, religious authority. This doesn't mean AI has no place in religious study. In fact, AI can be very useful. It can translate ancient languages, compare different manuscripts, search thousands of pages in seconds, explain difficult vocabulary, summarize historical information. These are valuable educational uses. The problem begins when people allow AI to replace qualified scholars or accepted methods of authentication. Technology should be a tool, not the final authority. Just as a calculator helps with mathematics but doesn't replace mathematicians, AI can assist religious study but doesn't replace religious scholars. AI can assist religious study without becoming the judge of religious truth. Conclusion. Artificial intelligence is one of the greatest technological achievements of our time. AI can analyze language. It can recognize patterns. It can retrieve information. What it cannot do is possess faith, spiritual insight, moral responsibility, or divine authority. Authenticating religious texts is not merely a technical exercise. It is a responsibility that involves history, scholarship, community, and, for believers, reverence towards the sacred. So the next time AI gives an answer about a religious text, remember this. Use it as a starting point for learning. Use it to explore history. Use it to compare translations. But never let it become the final authority on what is sacred. Because technology can process information, only responsible human scholarship can evaluate evidence, and each faith tradition determines authenticity according to its own established principles. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thoughtful discussions about technology, ethics, and faith. Thank you for watching.